has inaugurated Waterways Monitoring and Data Management Center as well as the State Waterways Search and Rescue Unit. The governor also unveiled 2 patrol units and U-Safe emergency device at the 5 Cowries Ferry Terminal, Falomo. Governor Sanwo-Olu reiterated his administration's commitment to a greater Lagos through the adoption of multimodal system of transportation aimed at decongesting the roads, pledging the completion of the Blue Line rail before the end of this year to complement transportation. In his remarks, Commissioner for Transportation Frederick Oladede said the development was to ensure speedy response to emergencies on the waterways and give more confidence to residents to embrace the water transportation to decongest traffic on Lagos roads. He had this to say.
It will help us detect and track vessels of any type and size, respond in real time to any emergency on the inland waterway, continuously survey any boats on the channel and gather data needed to enhance the infrastructure of our inland waterways, thereby creating more confidence and trust in Lagosians to use our waterways.
Earlier in an address of welcome, the General Manager LASWA, Damilola Emmanuel, said the floating clinics and search and rescue units would be situated strategically in the 3 senatorial districts of the state in Ikpakodo, Ikorodu, Ijegun-Egba, and Falomo.
An automated manual action system integrated with alerts to enable efficient operator handling of events. It also allows the field operators, the water guards, to check and verify vessel.
According to Emmanuel, the control unit of the search and rescue unit will monitor all activities on the Lagos waterways, make surveillance on vessels to minimize accidents to the barest minimum on the waterways. Meanwhile, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has assured Lagosians that the Blue Line rail will commence passenger operations unfailingly this December. He gave the assurance during the inauguration of waterway safety equipment for the use of the State Waterways Authority, LASWA. Governor Sanwo-Olu said prior to its full operations, Lagosians will have the advantage of boarding the trains free of charge. He also promised that his administration will complete and hand over the Red Line rail, which his administration started constructing before the 29th of May. Lagos State Government has called on community media practitioners in the state to embrace professionalism in covering events and disseminating information about its programs and policies across the state. Special advisor to the governor on community affairs, Babatunde Jimo, made the call at an interactive session organized by the Ministry of Local Government and Community Affairs for community media practitioners. Jimo described the role of community media practitioners in disseminating information about the state government to residents in their various communities as a necessity, and joined the practitioners to hone their professional skills in news reporting to the grassroots. He urged community media practitioners to take up their role as agents of truth to clear any misrepresentation about the state's government. And now to the rest of the stories. The Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, has reaffirmed its commitment to efforts to foster peace, security and stability for Nigeria to achieve a peaceful elections in 2023. The Director of Political Affairs of the ECOWAS Commission, Remy Ajibewa, made this known during a sensitization workshop in partnership with the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, in Rivers State. Ajibewa, who was represented by the head of Division, Democracy and Good Governance Department of Political Affairs, Peace and Regional Security of ECOWAS, Emmanuel Ukorodudu, said the Commission would identify with Nigeria as ECOWAS member state during the elections. According to him, ECOWAS would also deploy short-term and long-term observers in the 6 geopolitical zones of Nigeria to monitor and observe the elections. Meanwhile, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, is seeking the approval of the House of Representatives to classify its facilities as high-security facilities across Nigeria. Its chairman, Mahmood Yakubu, made the appeal in Abuja during the investigation hearing of the ad hoc committee investigating the attacks on INEC offices and facilities. He said INEC might not be able to hold election in states where facilities are being repeatedly attacked, noting that 15 out of the 36 states have recorded 50 incidents so far. Yakubu urged the National Assembly to expedite action to pass the Electoral Offences Commission bill, adding that any nation that does not penalize offenders is doomed. The INEC boss said Nigeria needs to put a stop to the destructions, adding that the commission had applied for additional budgetary allocation towards the success of the 2023 elections. The federal government has distributed relief items to victims of 2022 flood disaster in Abia State. The items were handed over to the state government by the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA. Its Director General, Mustafa Ahmed, who was represented by head of NEMA, Owerri Operations Office, Ifeanyi Naji, said the gesture was in continuation of the relief distribution for those affected by the flood disaster in the state. He recalled that the agency was in the state in November to commence the distribution of food and non-food relief items. The NEMA boss said the second phase of the distribution involved just food items. And now to foreign news. Authorities in Peru have held high-level talks to try to resolve a tipping political crisis triggered by the ousting of the former president. The Council of State, the body, made up of representatives of all branches of power and church leaders, had a 3-hour meeting in the capital, Lima. Earlier, 2 government ministers resigned following days of violent protest over the impeachment of Pedro Castillo on 7th December. More than 20 people have been killed. I beg your pardon. After the meeting on Friday evening, the head of the National Board of Justice, Jose Avila, called on Peruvians to avoid violence and engage in peaceful dialogue with the authorities. He said government ministers will be traveling to the areas where people were protesting in order to promote such a dialogue. And now, sports news. The World Football Governing Body, FIFA, is to reconsider the format of the 2026 World Cup in the United States, Mexico and Canada. Its president, Gianni Infantino, says the team will increase from 32 to 48 for the competition and will be divided into 16 groups of 3, with the top 2 progressing to the last 32. Infantino also says that will be looked at after the success of the 4 team groups at the 2022 World Cup in Qatar. Algeria has submitted a bid to host the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations after Guinea was stripped of the tournament. The Cairo-based Confederation of African Football has also received bids by Algeria's neighbor and arch rival Morocco, as well as a joint bid by Nigeria and Benin. Algeria had already said in early October that it will bid to host the Cup, days after Guinea's president, Patrice Motsepe, said the country had been stripped of the task. CAF will inspect facilities in January before announcing a final decision the following month. And that was our news at 10, but just before we go, remember, your vehicle is not a strong room. Keep your valuables out of view of other motorists. You can listen to Lagos Traffic Radio on our website. It's www.trafficradio961.ng. And follow us on our various social media platforms: Twitter, Lagos Traffic 961, Instagram, Lagos Traffic Radio 961, and Facebook, Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. On YouTube, subscribe to our channel, Traffic Radio 961. And also, you can now download our app, Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM, from Play Store for more traffic updates. Did you know that the Sanwo-Olu administration reconfigured 6 junction roundabouts at Arlen, Ikotun, Maryland, Lekki, and Aja on the Traffic Management Intervention Plan? Well, you can get more details on the Lagos State Government website. To end the news, here are the highlights of the major stories. Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has inaugurated the Waterways Monitoring and Data Management Center, as well as the State Waterways Search and Rescue Unit. The Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, has reaffirmed its commitment to efforts to foster peace, security and stability for Nigeria to achieve a peaceful elections in 2023. We also told you that authorities in Peru have held high-level talks to try to resolve a deepening political crisis triggered by the ousting of the former president. In sport, World Football Governing Body FIFA is to reconsider the format of the 2026 World Cup in the United States, Mexico and Canada. For contact with the newsroom, send a message to newsroom@radio961.ng. And that ends the news broadcast. It was compiled by Adirayo Idowu Olaiya. Thank you for listening. My name is Mike James. Good morning.
Don't you think it is better to get the updates fast and undiluted from a trusted and reliable source than to hear it from just any other station? Get the authentic traffic report from Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM, moving Lagos forward.